Yeah, let's see. Can admit everybody here.
Hi, Steve.
Yep. Hold on a second. I'm going to see who else is coming here. Norma, waiting room. Okay. We got Steve Daner. We'll admit him. They're all coming in here. Okay.
You got Rick Shane.
Yep.
You got me. Howdy. Long time.
You guys, yeah, you can see me. And I'm trying to de-accessionize here, so the room is like a mess. But we all have. Here comes Barry Lefkowitz. He hasn't been here in a while. Three people said they couldn't come because they're dealing with grandchildren. Who else?
How you doing? How's everyone doing?
Mine.
Good.
Oh, here comes Julie or Julia, depending upon who you have. We'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get in. You guys can start talking.
Oh, hello.
I got some
Where you at?
things to share.
Rick, where are you at? Where
Oh,
are you presently living?
We've got a couple homes. I'm in Boise, Idaho right now.
Okay.
We kind of rotate back and forth between here and Frederick, Maryland. Coincidentally, just a few doors from Bruce Zagnut.
Very
Oh,
By pure chance.
and
Strange.
he can't make it, so they had something.
Yeah, we're here in Yardley, PA, and also San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. We lived in San Diego. We had a place downtown, a condo there for about 10 or 12 years. And we kind of left when the pandemic started and got homes in the two places I mentioned because our sons and grandkids are in those two places. So
That's we're in our kids are one of our daughters is in Carmel Valley, so we basically have one in Yardley, one in Carmel Valley, so we split our time.
where are you in San Diego?
Carmel Valley.
Oh, you're in Carmel Valley.
Yeah.
Because we were in the high rise. There's a couple of high rises directly across from the cruise ship terminal on Pacific Highway downtown. That's where we were. We had that for, I don't know, 10 or 11 years.
That's
Excuse me for interrupting, but can you hear my voice?
We can hear you perfectly, Julie.
Hi,
And you have
Julie.
to be Julie here. You can't be Julia.
We went to Saturday school, Richard, right?
Yes. Oh, for sure.
I think
For sure.
together.
Well, of course.
And so that means we were in the same confirmation class.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Great.
I don't remember that.
And then-
It might have been. I mean,
But
there's a lot of
Herbie
things I don't
Musgrove-
remember.
But
There it was.
Herbie was not at the Har Sinai. But I remember him, and I didn't know, but I don't think I remember Herbie from junior 3. You went to junior 3? Herbie?
Yeah. Who's Herbie who?
Herbie who?
Moskowitz.
Oh,
Howie.
Howie is here.
Howie, sorry.
Yeah.
He went
Yeah, I went to junior 3.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Mhm.
I remember you really from the Yolinskis.
Yes, I've been communicating with Richie.
No, I don't mean now in this present life. I know that, but I mean back then. Even
Yes,
when we went to high school, I remember you. That's how I remember you.
yeah.
Remember you. I don't remember you from junior 3
Uh-huh.
as I remember you from high school.
Julia, are you in
Yeah.
New York? Did I see that you're in New York? Did I have that right?
We live in New York.
New York, in the
Yeah,
city.
we've always lived in New York.
Am I still the only one that lives in New Jersey?
Could be.
You may be. You may
Yeah,
be.
we left New Jersey about 22 years ago to move not that far to Yardley.
Okay.
Ah,
Here comes
well,
Linda
we
Russell.
technically we're full-time residents of South Carolina. We own a home on Hilton Head Island, but I commute because I still have, I'm senior partner of my firm. And so I commute back and forth between South Carolina and New Jersey. American Airline and Frontier like me.
This is the first time I've seen Norma in, I don't know, since we
Many
went,
moons.
since we went to college, maybe we saw each other once in New York. I think that, who organized something? That Barbara Zeltmacher was there.
Maybe.
But
Norma,
that-
where
Maybe.
are you? Where are you?
Me?
Yes.
I'm in Connecticut.
Ah, okay. Not far.
We're all East Coasters here, as far as I know today.
No,
I think we're all East Coasters.
no,
Except
Rick
for-
is in.
No, Howie's in. Are you in Colorado? Howie?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, yeah. And Howie and I are always emailing back and forth
Yeah.
about film. So
Yeah.
since he teaches film and I like to go to it, so that's it. I don't see anybody else coming in. I just wanted to share something from me, which I thought was interesting. I'm sort of jealous of you, Steve Daner, because you're in Yardley and you can be at Di Lorenzo's within 20 minutes.
Actually, they have.
There's a
the one
great
in
story.
10 minutes
The
away.
the guy in the Trenton paper, or in the Philadelphia paper, sorry, did an article that there was a new tomato pie place opening in Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, tomato pie is, it's called a Philadelphia tomato pie, and it's basically a Sicilian pie without cheese on it. And they usually make them in the bakeries, the Italian bakeries, and they sell them by the slice and you eat them at room temperature. Well, there was a note in here that the woman and her husband, her father was the guy that owned Papa's in Trenton,
Right.
Tomato Pie's place. And so 3 days a week, they go into this wonderful little brewery, small brewery, maybe, I don't know, 12 minutes from my house. And they bake in this small oven. They do the exact same thing. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to meet people from Trenton there. And there is if you're into really missing a tomato pie, there's a Facebook page called Trenton Tomato Pie, The Real Thing. And
Oh, geez.
not only people locally, but the people that left and they're in Florida and they're sharing recipes and which tomatoes you use and all that sort of stuff. So I had fun going last night and just meeting all these other people that grown up. But from what I can tell, there is not one tomato pie place in the city limits of Trenton. They're all either
Right.
is out in Hamilton somewhere and what they call Yardley, but it's really almost lower Makefield, because I drove to Yardley one day and I said, do you know where this Di Lorenzo's is? No, so I Googled it and says, yeah, go 10 miles this way.
But I remember the first time I ever had pizza pie. It wasn't called pizza, actually.
It was,
It was
It's called tomato pie.
oh yeah, that's
yeah.
what
I had forgotten that over the years, and it's just assumed that this was something idiosyncratic and.
oh, it's Trenton. It's Trenton. In
But
Trenton,
you
you
know that
get,
in Trenton, the Italian population was Sicilian.
yeah. No, there was
The Di
Joe's,
Lorenzo-
there was Maruca's, there was,
Right. Di
From
Lorenzo
what I gather,
family.
they've all kind of filtered. Well, they're certainly not in Trenton anymore.
Yeah.
But filtered out to Hamilton Township. There's
Yep.
a lot now.
Right.
I've been back a couple times, but not that often. So
Is
The Di Lorenzo
Lorenzo's in-
family
there's
was
two different Di
Right.
Lorenzo parts of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
the,
Cousins.
the
Di Lorenzo's
original Di
on-
Lorenzo's. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we can hear
sure.
you.
The original Di Lorenzo family were patients of my father's
Wow.
when they very first started out. Chick was
Right.
the father, and it is so high end now. The last time I was there, it was very gourmet with fancy salads and all kinds of other things. And I remember driving to the little hole in the wall, the original
The
location.
Hudson Street. Yep.
On
There
Hudson Street, when it
No
was you had to
bathrooms.
wait for hours to get a table because it was so crowded.
They didn't even have a bathroom.
No, they didn't
Yeah.
want one. Philadelphia's major Italian bakery for bread, as compared to a pastry shop, is a place called Sarcone's. And if you're getting a hoagie or something, you always get it from Sarcone's. The daughter of the Sarcone's family married a guy from South Jersey, and they opened a place called Anthony's. And he actually went up to New York. Somebody up there, who was it? It wasn't Sly Stallone. It was somebody up there. Had him come up and bring pies. There's usually about 40 people waiting outside. It's a couple blocks from us. They do have a phone if you can get through, but
I
That-
remember we used to go to ice skate at Princeton University.
Exactly.
And after that, we would go into downtown Princeton to Renwick's and have
Oh, sure.
hamburgers and hot
Absolutely.
chocolate. And someone said there's something new called pizza. And I think I tried it and I said, I don't think I like it. And someone said to me, you have to learn to like it. It's the new big thing.
Well, it's
And
all
I
the
You did, I
regional stuff.
assume. And
We
you
should-
did, presumably.
We should
Remember,
do
you can't get
it.
pencil points outside of Trenton either.
We
Oh,
should-
yeah, you can.
They just order rigatoni. Rositi.
No,
You must have
I've
told
seen
me.
it called pencil points in, we lived in Tucson and in San Diego
Yeah.
over a period, about 20 years. And I saw pencil points in Tucson. There was a restaurant called Basil's, which was a Italian family that had moved from Chicago. So it was more of a Chicago or East Coast kind of Italian restaurant. And they had pencil points and they called them pencil points.
Yeah. And then, of course, when you go outside of Trenton and you go in New Jersey, which, the place, you get this thing on the menu at all the diners called Jersey ham, which is nothing more than pork roll.
Yeah,
And I'm
Never
trying
heard
to convince this guy to put pork roll on his pizza. He does pepperonis now, but I said that would be the truth.
It's all pepperoni. Yeah.
Oh, here comes Tommy Lombardo, who's going to join us.
Oh,
But
Who? I'm sorry. Steve,
Wow. I
Tommy
know-
Lombardo.
I went to
Oh,
This
college.
may be his first.
God.
Maybe
Hi,
his
Tommy.
first.
it's maiden voyage.
Yeah. We'll see if he pops in here.
He is popping in.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we go to Tucson occasionally because our
It's Tom Lombardo, but he's muted.
granddaughter at
Yeah.
University of Arizona. So we fly out to Arizona just to visit, and then we shoot over to San Diego. We try to do the triangular thing.
Well, we were just in Tucson between Christmas and New Year's just for a quick visit. There's some old friends we hadn't seen since pre-pandemic. So it was kind of fun, but that's years ago now. So
Yeah, time.
Hmm?
It's time. It's
Yeah, exactly.
I was-
That's why we kind of relocated to where our sons and grandkids are. Getting to be the age where you ought to be closer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, our oldest granddaughter in Yardley is a second grade teacher in the school that she went to. And our oldest daughter, who lives here in Yardley, is also a teacher at the synagogue. And so our daughter in San Diego says, "When are you moving out full time?" And we keep saying, I don't know. It's a
the
rough-
weather's nice, but there's some disadvantages, believe me.
Oh yeah, there's no
Yeah.
really good restaurants
Well,
I mean-
downtown in Little Italy, downtown.
in Little Italy.
There are a few good ones,
Yeah.
but they're not East Coast Italian. That's the difference.
No, not
Tommy
really.
Lombardo, can you hear us? You unmute and start your camera if you can. Glad to have you here.
Well, years ago, before I retired, we were we spent 6 years in the Virgin Islands. I was
Oh,
the
gee.
chief court reporter for the Virgin Islands. And that was a nice assignment. And then my wife and I both came back to federal court in New Jersey. And then after 43 years, we said, that's enough.
Were you in the federal courthouse in downtown in Trenton or in
My
Newark
wife
or
was in
Camden? Or?
Trenton. I was in Camden.
Oh.
And then I got to the Virgin Islands for 6 years and came back to Camden. And interesting career
Yeah, I
for
would say.
both of us. For both of us.
Here comes Liz Levin. She'll be joining us too.
Yeah.
I hope Tommy's hearing us.
There's
Here,
Liz.
Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hello.
You haven't missed much. We're talking, we did our whole thing about tomato pies.
About tomato pies.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I went last night to a place near, there was a Trenton place called Papa's, and the daughter of
That was
Papa's
there a
is
long
now
time ago.
running her own, yeah. So I went last night. There maybe a 20-minute walk for me. Nancy Albert is coming.
Ah,
Good. It
How
was-
do I get to see everybody?
Oh, you should be in the upper right where it says view.
there should be a.
I
little-
don't see that.
Are you on
I
your
just see the
phone?
person who's talking at the time.
At the moment, yeah, but if you go up to the right of where you are, in my case, it says view, and then there's a pull down menu,
I don't see that.
where you have participants.
Well, I
Oh,
think
wait a minute.
Norma is on her phone.
Oh,
which
I'm on my
makes a
phone.
Difference.
Yeah,
That's different.
there should be a view link somewhere.
Oh,
Well,
Now
on
I
the-
see
on the-
everyone's name.
On the
On
computer,
the right, right? It says,
I'm on the phone.
like you said, but on the right of the phone.
Oh, wait a minute. I see it now.
screen, put share screen, click on share screen.
No, no, sharing screen is only you want the gallery view, which is what I now have, yeah.
I lost my,
And Nancy Albert is turned right, so she must be using her
Right.
cell phone.
I lost my video. How do I get it back, Steve?
It's on the
Oh, down the
side.
lower left-hand corner, it says
Nancy, turn your
mute and
phone.
video.
No, it doesn't.
Are you on your phone or you're on a computer?
No, I'm on MacBook, actually.
Okay, at the bottom, it should say mute.
It does not.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, maybe a Mac person. It's just funny, I'm
Yeah,
watching.
it's a
Nancy-
Mac. It's a Mac.
Okay, I said I'm
It does
not a
say
Mac
that.
person,
It does say that.
but Nancy Albert.
I
Right?
tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sign, I'm gonna leave it and come back.
Okay,
How's that?
good, good.
Okay.
I'll let you back in.
Okay.
Nancy.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
on the computer. I don't know why it's.
Oh, I don't know why you're turned right either. Let's see if I can find a way
There we go. I
to
got you.
rotate you.
I got you. I
I
got
was
you.
thinking if
That's
you're
probably the
laying
way
on
I
your
am.
side. The camera's on its side. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Oh, well, at least we can see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did we ever grow up without this technology?
I don't know, but so many of us managed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's Tommy.
Yeah.
God, this is like, is this your first time here? Or you joined us before? Tommy, we can't hear you.
Muted.
He's on mute.
Yeah.
I don't see a mute on his thing.
Liz,
Don't
where are
ask
you?
me.
Oops.
Okay,
I
let's
see him
see.
now. I see him now.
Oh, yeah, but we don't have your voice. I don't know whether your microphone is there.
Your
Not muted.
microphone must be off.
Where are you, Liz?
Where am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm in Somerville, Mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're in Massachusetts. Yeah. Oh, this is,
And what do you do, Liz?
I'm retired.
aren't we all?
Yeah, join the crowd.
No, I'm not. What did you do?
I worked at a biotech company by the name of Biogen
Uh-huh.
in
Oh, yeah.
Cambridge
Sure. Mhm.
for many years. When I retired after 25 years, believe it or not, I was director of quality for their pharmacovigilance unit. Anyway, so that's what I did.
And your father was a producer or director of?
Director,
Director,
Yeah.
April
Right.
Love.
among others, yes.
Pat Boone, April Love.
Journey to the center of the earth.
Okay, correct.
That was my first great lesson in filmmaking because I remember it was, I think in 7th grade, a bunch of us said, those monsters. And you said, oh, they're just chameleons with the camera set close. And I thought, really?
Yeah, that was before the days of CGI
Yeah.
and other things.
Yeah.
So Howie, I have a funny story to tell you. Years ago, when I was still working at Biogen, I went to a meeting of the American Heart Association in New Orleans, and there were several of us from the company who had gone down for the meeting. And we're sitting there, and the scientist who was head of the study that I was working on, much younger than I. But anyway, we got to talking about one thing and another, this whole group. And I mentioned something about my dad being a director. And so everybody wanted to know, well, what did he direct? And I said, Journey to the Center of the Earth. And this guy, this scientist who headed this entire project, jumped into my lap and said, oh my God, this is the reason I went into science.
Cute.
That's
Very funny.
Yeah, it's interesting all the different connections we've had here because Howie's in the film and and Liz's dad was in the film, and Bruce Berger is a retired dermatologist. I don't know if I told you this last time, but I asked him one time about a question because I had some issue, and I asked him to recommend somebody in Philadelphia, and he recommended one of his resident students when he was here, and the resident student is like 71 years old. You know, and he's ready to retire too. But you never know.
A student of mine came up to me at the Telluride Film Festival
Who did?
A student, a
Oh,
former
yeah.
student of mine, came up and I said, "What are you doing now, Eddie?" He said, "I retired."
Oh God.
Oh, geez.
Well, 2024 is, I think, the big year for all of us. We all end up with that zero in the end.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
zero.
Right.
Oh,
and-
no, I do not. I am a bit younger. I started school too young. If I had to do it over again and had my choice, I would have waited a year for kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh,
Richard Levy and I both turned 79 in February.
Richard,
will turn.
he dated Susan Levy, didn't he?
No,
No,
No, no.
Cousins.
they're cousins. I hope they didn't.
That was Larry Sherwood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Larry's on Facebook, but he's never joined us here.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
talked to Larry probably maybe once or twice a month because we had our joint friend, unfortunately, passed away, was George Hyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Friend of mine as well.
Matter of fact, George and I and our wives went out to Larry's, I guess now it must have been his 70th birthday or 65th or 60th. It all runs together after a while.
Yeah. Well, in 3 years we've been doing this, I think it is. We've only lost one person.
Don't jinx us. Gee
Don't,
whiz.
don't talk too loud.
yes,
Yeah.
please,
but that's
knock
surprising.
wood.
I tell people we had 138 people in ninth grade class, and we know we're 55. We have email addresses for 55. Of course, a whole bunch of them don't. They all get the emails, but I guess they don't have time or want to come. And
Unfortunately, when my parents moved to Florida many, many years ago, and they're long gone now, my father had, before the computer, or he knew how to use a computer, always had to check Trenton Times obituaries to let him know which of his friends passed away. And unfortunately, it's gotten into a habit for me to see people, and it's getting rough.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a close friend who lives in Jupiter who's went to Notre Dame, and he's from Trenton area, and he regularly sends the obituaries of people that we knew, and I try not to look.
Right.
Well, my wife is much younger than I am, even though we're married 56 years, but her grandparents were Trentonians. So it's like, oh, I knew that person, but they only know them by maiden names.
Oh, yeah.
I have our class photo from Junior 3 on my wall.
Well, let's.
I have it on my computer. Yeah.
Show
Hang
it,
on,
show
hang
it.
on. Let me, I'll walk around and see if you can see it.
Well, I've shared it.
Can you recognize anybody on this screen from that photo? Do you think?
Oh, sure.
Can you?
Yeah.
Steve, when you get a chance, could
Can you see it?
email that to me?
Oh, sure.
Can you see it?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have no.
We all are.
Yeah. I've sent that out to everybody on the list year on. And we had this whole project which sort of went by the wayside. Naomi's not here today, but she's usually here with identifying everybody.
Steve, just a minute. Howie, show it, please.
Show it again.
How we hold it up again?
Yeah,
Hang
because
on.
it's too
I
fast.
gotta walk through the carnage that is my
I'll
office.
send it to you, Julie. I have it as three JPEGs.
Okay.
There's Donnie Friedman.
Oh.
Yep. Well, he's still here. I haven't seen him lately, but he lives in Philly.
I don't know where, I don't think I have it.
Oh, you'll have it by this afternoon. I'll send you
Thank you. I
I'll
appreciate
send
it.
you the emails. Speaking of that, a couple of quick questions. Steve Daner, what
Yes.
are the pictures on the back wall and what's the connection? It looks like country western.
They're all Western heroes, Western actors who are all autographed. And the center picture is of Leonard Toews when he sued the Sands for milking him out of a lot of money. I was the reporter for that one and a bunch of other interesting cases. So that was one of the ones that was on television. And I guess the best one was when the John Birch Society tried to assassinate Rockefeller. I was the reporter for that.
Wow.
Wow.
But that mostly all Westerners. And if I went into my loft area, you would get my wife. My wife, well, I collect, and she doesn't like it. I've got about 150 old lunch boxes from the 20s on to the
Well, that's
60s.
cool.
And I've got to start getting rid of them because I know what my kids are going to do.
No, you can look in the back. You can see what I got. You guys might enjoy this as a quick story. I've got more CD. I get 5 or 6, 7 CDs a week because I do reviews, just like how he gets movies. But I don't have any room for them. And a lot of them are singer-songwriters and jazz, and I collect everything. So I posted a note on Facebook and tried to sell them for 50 cents a piece if they'd buy 200 of them. And some guy sends me a text, a message, and he says, yeah, he would buy them at that. I said, but I may be able to get more. So he says, well, how many you get? Well, I'll come up with 600. So I came up with 600 of them, and I offered it for $300. And I knew he was somewhere in the area because he was going to come pick it up. And I thought he was in Brooklyn because of his phone number. But it turned out when he got here, his name was Boris. And he came down from the Poconos. He's from the Ukraine originally. And
Wow.
he bought them because he goes to the Ukraine on a regular basis. And what we don't know, and you always hear this anyway, is that there's a war going on in one part of the country, but the rest of the part of the country is just normal. And they love American rock and roll music. So he sent me a note yesterday. You got another couple hundred? So,
Wow.
but it's like where this stuff ends up. I have a signed picture of Thomas Edison. That's the most famous one, and one of Stan Lee too. So that was interesting. Let me raise another question because there's a group on Facebook, and it wasn't our class. It was the whole Trenton class idea, Trenton Memories, talking about going back to visit your old house. I don't remember if we ever talked about that, but I went online and found the house on Morningside Drive, and it was for sale a couple of years ago. It's like the 5th thing. Property taxes have not gone up. I mean, they were $7,000. They were like $6,000 when we lived there, and now they're like $7,000. But the houses went up, and they added a coverage over the front of the porch. So has anybody, I keep meaning to, I posted on there, does anybody live nearby and know who's there and have their email address? Because I'd like to one day just go see what the house looks like.
Oh, Steve, your house and my house were
Back to back.
Yeah.
But yours was much older.
It can be very unsettling to go back.
Well,
it's extraordinarily unsettling.
Well,
I decided that I'm definitely not going back.
Oh, I've driven by, and Linda,
I avoid driving by. So that's my take.
My sister, when she was visiting a couple years ago, wanted to see our old house, and one of George Hyman's daughter, who is very, very close with our daughter, her husband's a Trenton detective, and so he said, "Go down West State, but do not go down your street. It's just not safe."
Right.
So we just listened.
What street did you live on?
And said,
what street were you on, Steve?
Yeah.
What street were
you? Were up
Westfield.
Westfield.
Al Stark was on.
Right.
Way.
Yep, right. He was.
Yeah, Linda Russell keeps raising her hand here, and I keep not seeing her.
That's all right. I was just going to relate the story when my husband and I did go back, and it was quite a number of years ago. We were in New York for some event, and I can't remember, some family event, and we didn't have our kids with us, so I don't remember why we didn't have them. And we decided that my family moved from 1213 West State Street when I was a freshman in college, and we moved to Newton, Massachusetts. So I had not been back in a very long time because I didn't come back my freshman year. I went to Boston. So we went back. We actually found it. We got off the highway and we found our way back. And it was a total shock. I would not recommend it.
Correct.
My vision, we had a 2-family house And Mrs. Levin lived next door. It was not up and above and below. It was next door. We had a big porch. It was a big street. I remember State Street being a big street. And I thought of it as gracious, with nice trees and everything. And we'd sit on the porch and friends would come by and we'd talk and chat. We went back and we looked like we were in the middle of the slums. I mean, it was just
Very
it
upsetting.
wasn't a big wide street.
Yes,
I mean,
it
I
was.
guess the trees didn't look so big anymore. The house didn't look well kept. I wanted to knock on the door and say we used to live here, but I was afraid to get out of the car.
I'm glad you didn't.
Well, from what I could see from Morningside Drive,
I have to-
first of all, they're on the for sale, which is like 4 or 5 years ago. They did the inside pictures, and we had this attic, if you could call it, that had a pull down staircase, and it was just for storage. You'd go up the steps and you'd throw stuff up there. Well, apparently they finished that, but I couldn't figure out if there was a pull down staircase. The dining room and the living room looked pretty much, the same. But it's also interesting that our house, and that thanks to John Van Ellis, there were 3 floods. There were the 55 flood that we all went
Right.
through. There was another one in 2000, I guess, and another one in 2005. And so that house has been, the first floor has been half underwater 3 times since it was built in 1950.
Steve, let me just
My
excuse
parents'
Sure.
house, which was on, in
So
front
Van Hicken,
for
Van Hicken Drive.
Yeah, I mean, so it was probably 2 blocks from the river. And our basement, which was part basement and had already been turned into a recreation room, I suppose I'm sure even when we bought it, it was flooded many, many times. It actually, it was a problem for them to sell it because of the flooding.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Sure.
We're having company coming for lunch and they're arriving. So I've got to excuse myself a few minutes early.
Well, you've been replaced by Bruce. He's coming in now.
A good replacement, but it's been nice seeing everybody, even if it's from
Good seeing
2,000
you, Rick.
miles away.
We're going to do this, we're doing it in February again. I'm going to pick a
Hopefully
date.
I'll see you again
Yeah.
soon.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Rick.
Right. Take care. Stay well, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Rick.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Steve. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But
Well, once the highway came in, any of our friends who are new to the area, I will always refer to that area as the island. But
Sure.
it's not an island.
Well, it was when the canal was there.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yep.
But after 55, I don't know when the highway was built, but no, I remember there was a bridge. My grandparents lived on the island.
yeah, a lot of
Their
people
house
did.
was totally flooded.
I remember seeing a boat on the street.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very deep water.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mark, and we're friendly with Mark.
And
I
everyone
have about,
everyone was evacuated from that area.
15
I
minutes.
remember that.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
I remember being evacuated. They
Yeah.
had just built the ramp behind near Junior 3, and they said that because it was so high, that spared a number of the homes. I do remember that.
But that was down 1 mile from where we were. At that time in 55, we were in the apartments. I don't remember them. They were the only, hello?
Why are you sharing screen?
Oh, that was me. There we go. I did it by mistake. What was the Hillcrest Apartments? Is that what they were
No,
called?
it wasn't Hillcrest. No, it was right on the island.
Yeah. I was trying to share the
remember the
picture I
family.
have.
Oh, Brook, it
I
was
remember, yes,
Brookville?
Brookfield. Or
Brookfield, yep. Yeah. Now I delivered the newspapers there for the Trentonian. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out a way to share my screen. You guys keep talking meanwhile.
and we had to get typhoid.
We have about
Do you remember
8
that?
minutes left or something like that.
What
No,
I
5.5, sorry.
my comment about going back and visiting the house is it had to be, because our son is 50, so it had to be 40 years ago that we did this, or close to that. And I couldn't believe that Trenton had deteriorated as much as it had. And I don't know if anybody who lives close by, because that was a long time ago that we had that impression. And it wasn't that long after, I mean, maybe it was 10 years after I was out of college and graduate school and married.
That's
What
fine.
happened? What happened to
Yes.
Trent? I mean, who lived close enough to know? I mean,
Well, Dana's the closest. Right?
It just, over the years after the riots, it just deteriorated and never came back. It was white flight to Lawrence, Yardley, some Hamilton.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
That's also because the state came in and demolished Market Street, all those rateables down there.
Yes.
And
Now they're all state buildings, not gaining any tax money.
And is it true that there's a new Trenton High?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
True.
Mm.
And they
Well,
built
yeah,
an
yeah.
entirely new building.
Right.
yeah, it's
Is
an
it
entirely
nice?
new place too, right?
It's a nice looking building, but not what our memories would hold.
Right.
Yeah.
And is Junior 3 still there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not called Junior 3, and it's not
Out of school.
it's a school. It's not a combined elementary middle school.
Does it still have a swimming pool on the inside?
I don't know.
There was a swimming pool in Junior 3.
Oh yeah.
yeah, we had to pass the beginning test in order to
Right.
graduate.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
remember
had to
that.
swim every week, I think 2 or 3 times. It was obligatory.
Right.
boys
But
had to swim naked.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
swam naked in that school.
Oh God. Steve
Nancy-
Lenoble, say at
and
least
Nancy was-
hello.
Was one of the best swimmers. I remember that.
Who was?
Steve
Nancy.
Lenoble, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm listening. Can you hear me?
Good. And Bruce, say something too. Glad you made it.
I'm sitting on the roadside in my car.
And I want to thank you all for being with me on my 35th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
Oh,
happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce, I was telling them the story about Sandy and how you recommended him.
Sandy.
Yeah, you're Ehrlich.
Okay.
You're the dermatologist, right?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Bruce.
No.
That's the other Bruce. That's right.
the other
You're right.
Bruce.
Yes.
This is,
That's
this is-
Berger. You're
this is the
Zagnet. You're right.
pharmacist.
You're right. Yeah.
Don't screw up my memory any more than it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, just to let you guys know.
Right, here's a quick one. You were talking about houses before.
Yep.
About 8 to 10 years ago, you sent, not only to me, I would assume, but to other people, the fire chief of Trenton, driving through Trenton.
Oh, yeah.
Assessing different homes. The first one I looked at that you said, halfway through, had my old home burnt to the ground.
No.
Actually, not to the ground, but had most of the way, and it said on the door, "This address condemned, do not enter." I'm sure that
Bad.
but it was interesting on the same block how many homes had boarded up windows and doors. Just wasn't the same, and that was at the end of West State Street.
Well,
Right.
Well, all I can say is we were the lucky ones.
That all started in the late 60s to the early 70s. It's not a recent condition. I remember speaking with my father about staying in his home and because the neighborhood had changed. And he said he wasn't going to any of the other places where everybody went. It was his home and so he always did stay there. But yeah, it was like that for a long time.
well, we have a minute left, so I was going to say we're going to share this with all 54 people. So if anybody has anything they want to just send out to the other people, it'll be in the recording, which will go out this afternoon.
Okay, Steve, I can't really see. Is Norma Aronis on the?
I am here.
Yes.
I am
okay.
here.
Oh, okay. Did you get my last text?
You did, and I very much appreciated it
Okay.
because
it was
my computer was hacked, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got one of those weird messages
Right.
along with a bunch of other people. And
Yeah,
I
I mean, I had a
apologize. It's been a
That's
nightmare.
okay. It's not your fault, but I had a conversation with that person and they mentioned the fact that I was friends with Richard,
You
which I
told
thought was,
me that.
which is really, I mean, really
Bizarre.
odd.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Pure
Right.
coincidence, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it was,
Let,
I don't
let's
know.
hope so.